Hello, hello, hello. I am the Linux Mensch. Those of you who have been following my channel know that I do a lot of work in virtual machines, and I use Virt Manager. And on Friday, after work, I came home and I opened up one of my virtual machines of Arch Linux, and I went to do an update. And with an update, I was getting an error message. So I thought, oh, usually when that happens, it means the mirror I'm using is down or there's something wrong with that mirror. So I went to the Arch Linux website and found a mirror that is 100% in sync and it had a good score. And I tried doing my update from that mirror. And again, it wouldn't update. I'm getting an error message. And I thought, what is going on? So then I opened up Firefox, and Firefox had no internet. So I went back to my bare metal computer, and my bare metal computer had internet. And I was able to update my computer, and the internet was working in Firefox. So I thought that particular virtual machine is corrupt. I have quite a few virtual machines. So I opened up another virtual machine, and again, no internet in the terminal, no internet in Firefox. And I thought, well, you know what? When all else fails, do a reboot. So I rebooted my bare metal computer, opened up Virt Manager, opened up a virtual machine, and no internet in the terminal or in Firefox. I thought, what is going on? So what I did was, well, I'm going to show you what I did. So let's get to it. So on my bare metal computer, I opened up a terminal. I did all updates. Now I have an alias for this because it's a long command. So if you're using my Zesh configuration file, you can do this as well. And I went to the bottom, and you can see right here. So I started looking up, and I can see right here, Libvirt got an update. Now, LibraryVirt or Libvirt is one of the many files that help virtual machines to run or that work with virtual machines to run. Got an update. So I went to the Arch Linux archive page and downgraded from 1.10.4 back to 1.10.3. And I opened up Virt Manager and my virtual machines were working. I had internet in the terminal and in Firefox in my virtual machine. Then I thought, that's not good though, because then I got to stay on an old version of Libvirt and maybe eventually it might stop working, right? So then I did some research and I found this. And the link to this page, this is the Libvirt page. And the link to this page, I'm going to put in the show notes of my video so you can come here and read it, because I'm not going to read it for you. But this is, so this new version of Libvirt is 10.4. Oh, and by the way, if you're using Virt Manager in Debian, you probably don't have this problem because Debian doesn't update that often. And Debian is always running on older versions of programs. So, well, let's put it this way. You could go and read all this. It talks about the problem. It talks about what's causing the problem. And further on down, there's this Daniel, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name. And I'm not sure if he's just a person who's writing about it here or if he actually works on the Libvirt team. But he explains in more detail what the problem is. And then also someone else responds, this Riley, and this Riley says he's having the same problem in Solus, because I'm using Arch Linux, by the way. So in Solus, he's having the same problem. And what the problem is that LibraryVirt was using some files that were compatible with uncomplicated firewall. But in this 10.4 version, they are no longer compatible with uncomplicated firewall, but they are compatible with Firewalled. Now, Firewalled is a firewall program available in Linux that I've never used. I downloaded it once, but I couldn't figure out how to use it. It was too complicated. So I really don't know how to use it. And I always use uncomplicated firewall. So what they're explaining here is there's two ways to fix or temporarily fix the problem. Number one, you can downgrade to the previous version of Libvirt and it will work. And I did that and it worked. The other way you can fix it is you can stay on the newest version of Libvirt, but but if you're using uncomplicated firewall, you got to turn it off. So I tried that. So first I downgraded to an older version of Libvirt and my virtual machine was working. Then I upgraded again to the newest version, 10.4, and it stopped working. Then I turned off my firewall and it was working again. So those are the two ways to fix it for now. You can either downgrade to Libvirt or you can turn off uncomplicated firewall. And if you don't use uncomplicated firewall, or if you use firewalled, then you probably didn't have this problem. And also if you're using Debian or Debian-based distribution, you probably didn't have this problem. Okay? Now also, if you go back to Arch Linux website, you can see that Libvirt was updated on the 5th of June. And I updated my computer on June 6th. And you can see that this Libvirt, and I'm going to make this just a little larger. Make sure my face is not in the way. So you can see that this Libvirt, it's an API for controlling virtualization engines. Okay, KVM and QEMU, and that's what I use because Virt Manager is just a front end, a GUI front end for KVM and QEMU, and also VirtualBox. So there's a possibility if you're running Arch Linux and you use VirtualBox, there's also a possibility that your virtual machines no longer have any access to the internet. So like I said, the only way to fix it right now is to downgrade to the previous version of Libvirt or turn off uncomplicated firewall. And for now, I think the safest version is to downgrade to the last version of Libvirt. And the way you do that is do this. Go to this page. And you know what? I'm going to put the link to this page in the show notes of this video. So I'm going to have 2 extra links in the show notes of this video pertaining to this particular video. Okay? Go down here and go down to the May one. You want the May 2nd, 2024. Click this on and download it into your downloads folder. CD into downloads, ls it. Now I have lots of stuff in my download folder, but you can see it right here. I have some other things in there, but you can see it right here. That's it there. So then when you're in that folder, you have to be in the same folder with the thing you just downloaded. And you have to do sudo pacman capital U dash capital U lib. And you know what? Let's just make that a bit smaller. That's what it's going to look like. Hit enter, and it's going to downgrade the package. Okay. Put your password in. And of course, I put the wrong password in. And I did it again. Okay, so now we're downgrading. You can see we're downgrading from the newest version to 110.3, which is the one from May. And we're going to hit enter. Then we're going to XCD out of there. We're going to go into sudo etc pacman. I forgot the vim. We're going to vim into sudo etc pacman.conf. And we're going to go to this line, ignore. And I'm already ignoring Ramina because the newest version of Ramina is not working properly for me. So we're going to go to this line where it says ignore package. And we're going to type in libvirt. And we're going to save the file. So that's going to stop the library virt from being updated. And once you downgrade, you're going to have internet in your virtual machines without having to turn off your firewall. And that's it. In this video, I explained how the internet stopped working in my virtual machines. And I also explained that it's happening in Arch Linux and Solus, and it's probably not happening in Debian because Debian is running on old packages. And it's due to the fact that some files called libvirt, they help run the virtual machine, or the virtual machines need them to run. And they got an update, and the update is no longer compatible with uncomplicated firewall. Now, apparently, the new version of libvirt is compatible with firewalled, another firewall application, but I've never used firewalled. I only use uncomplicated firewall. So as far as I know, there's only 3 ways to fix it. You could install firewalled and turn off uncomplicated firewall, or you could turn off uncomplicated firewall and use no firewall, which I don't recommend you do that. Or you can downgrade to the last version of libvirt that came out on May the 2nd and keep uncomplicated firewall turned on. Now, I don't know if they're going to fix it. There was chat going on that web page I showed you, and they were talking about how libvirt should do something to make it compatible with uncomplicated firewall again. So we'll have to see. So for now, those are the 3 ways I know how to fix it. And I hope that libvirt does fix it. I don't really think it's the responsibility of Arch Linux to fix it or Solus to fix it. I think it's library virt, and they should fix it. Their application should be compatible with uncomplicated firewall, because even though it's working with firewalled, I think uncomplicated firewall is the most popular Linux firewall application, and I think it's safer to have a firewall on. Now, I've had people tell me that you don't need a firewall when you're using Linux. That might be true, but I like to be safer, and I think it's safer to have a firewall turned on, regardless of what firewall you use. So I'm hoping libvirt will do an update and make it compatible with uncomplicated firewall once again. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I am the Linux Bench.